So tell us, Mr. Rajesh Kumar, the Vice President, Marketing India and South Asia, UiPath, which is your favorite mix? That is the question. And all of us are 21 plus. Here's hoping. If you're under 21, because I'm from Mumbai, we've got some laws of 21. In case you're under 21, kindly switch off your audio for the next 30 seconds. Over to you, sir.
No, thank you. Thank you so much, Nikita. This is Rajesh. I think this is time for mulled wine, especially with the cold weather in Delhi, and some pumpkin spice lattes. So I hope everybody's got one, because this is a time after lunch and I'm acutely conscious we're running 10 minutes late. Now I have a hard stop at 3:30. So I'll save you me being too verbose, hopefully. So thank you for being with us today afternoon. I'm going to try and keep it hopefully short. I will try and talk a little bit about the automation industry. And since we have a very broad set of audience, I'm going to keep it pegged at an average. So for some of you, it may be too basic, and some of you, it may be useful. But obviously, this is start of a conversation, and we will have opportunities for connection afterwards. And in a 20-minute session, I wouldn't expect anyone to carry back, too much more than that. So with that, let me share what I have for you. Like Nikita said, COVID has taught us to do namaste instead of handshakes and hugs. So, grateful it's on its way out, barring the new scare of Omicron. Hopefully that passes off, and doesn't hit us. And we have, all of us together, have a nice, 2022. Really, really looking forward to that, in the festive season. So I want to start with, and why I said namaste, because for the company that I work for now for over the last 3 years, their story turning point really happened in India, in city of Chennai, where they had a first breakthrough in terms of, a customer who was struggling with a problem. And then they picked up a phone, checked on the internet, and called on this little unknown company out of Romania, saying, oh, there are players in this market, but they're not able to figure out what we need. Can you take a shot? And of course, it was a startup led by, a bunch of young people, 8 of them, working for last 10 years or so. They saw this was interesting. They hopped on a plane, came to Chennai, camped there, worked for a week, and they actually solved the problem. So that was a aha moment, is to understand, yes, they had something good going. And from there, there has really been no looking back, for the company and this market, really, if it were. For the company, therefore, Bangalore has been one of our early engineering and dev centers. So we call it the 3 Bs, Bellevue, Bucharest, Bangalore. And now we also have Hyderabad, actually, with Cloud Elements being a fold in the company. So India really has a special place historically and emotionally, for the company. And those ties run deep. So India always gets an extra attention. And these are the markets we cover. Besides India, all of the South Asia markets are, covered out of this region. This is a brief glimpse of the, journey of the company. Like I said, started in 2005 by a bunch of developers. Our founder, Daniel Dines, was working for Microsoft. Then he thought he should build something. And then he moved back to his home country, Romania, got few people out of the college, and then they worked out of a small room, as he always likes to call. We became an overnight success in 2015 after slogging out of a small room for 10 years. And after that, it's been an interesting journey, many rounds of funding. The company went public last year, most recently, for the 3rd year, #1 on Gartner Magic Quadrant, and many of the other ratings, including the latest one from IDC. As you can see here, most of the ratings. Also, I think a lot of awards actually for company for their culture, which is interesting because company has very different values. When I joined 3 years back, I was very pleasantly surprised to find or to hear, being humble was the top value at the company, besides being bold, fast, and immersed. And that has really, really made a great difference and made a very different experience for me. I've worked many, many years, as you can tell. And this has been really special and unique, and really enjoyed these last 3 years, at the company. So let me now talk a little bit about the automation, per se. And COVID really has been the great accelerator overall for technology industry, but more specifically for automation, because at some level everybody was forced to think how to keep business operations running without benefit of the having people at hand. A lot of the industries, including very traditional industries like some of our customers are in edible oil, some are in making sleeping mattresses. They never thought of work from home or remote work. It wasn't just so relevant. But this situation made everyone rethink. And that was a big driver for people to think in terms of automation and think how do they make software robots and humans work in tandem for a most optimum outcome and for driving continuity. And there have been a number of studies. I find this the most interesting. As you know, and you probably identify, I definitely do. A large amount of my work over the years has been manual, repetitive work, which honestly I could live without, and focus on that 20% which kept the life, working life exciting. Now with software automation, that's really the opportunity. And as you look back, the confluence and this is the newer set of creative messaging that we have been doing as a company. And you can see, I definitely see, some identification of myself, really like to focus myself and the teams that I work with on higher quality work, which is decision-making, analytics, creative thinking, problem solving, and not, paper pushing or entering data, moving data, downloading files, and so on and so forth, which, has always constituted a large part of our work. And I know there was a cloud session before this. I think cloud did many good things. It also liberated the market for doing best of breed applications, which meant that we have many, many best of the breed applications that we use today to do any job, whether it is hiring, onboarding employee, whether it is doing marketing analytics, or we are doing any work in finance or supply chain, which means on an average, employee deals with moving data across a number of applications. Some may be legacy, some are new, some are cloud, some are on-prem. Some data still sits in Excel, some is coming off the web site, some social media, and that takes a lot of time. While it is great, it takes a lot of time. And now automation has opened this opportunity to become that layer between the applications and the human beings and emulating what they do. And here is what it does actually. It's shown that it increases employee engagement because employees get to do more interesting work rather than doing a lot of the work, which is mandatory, but they would rather do without. And no better place, than the government. India, we are still in, early discussion with some of the departments, some have deployed, but we've seen that experience in the West, especially in the US, where large amount of federal agencies use automation, and the employees are very happy because they're actually getting time to talk to the citizens, which they never had. They were buried under the load of files and emails and tasks to do. Now they have automated a large amount of that, including the defense forces, and now they are able to spend more time on things that matter. And of course citizens are happier because they get these things done 24/7 rather than 9 to 5 office hours, which happen to be the same time they work in office and they couldn't follow on many of the things. Clearly, it improves customer experience. If you look at a typical contact center example, where an agent spends a lot of time rushing through data to solve a problem when we call, 80% of the time usually is managing data and trying to understand customer history. Now you can use a simple software bot to bring all of that together in a minute or so, and you can use the rest of the time actually to talk to the customer, and most cases offer them first call resolution, which is really a great driver of customer experience, as those in marketing or sales would agree with me. As the world has become more complex, I think there is a lot more compliance. For marketers, it is GDPR, data privacy. For finance, there are lots of regulations. For legal, there are lots of regulations which need to be met to truly work internationally today. The world has become a village, but there are a lot of entry barriers and systems to follow. So something like software automation, because it works at a UI layer, everything is auditable. And once you train the bot, it doesn't make a mistake. It doesn't doze off. It doesn't step out for a cup of tea. It doesn't take a break. So therefore, any kind of quality processes also where Six Sigma, you tend to stop after, mid 90s, it actually lets you take very close to 100%. And of course, most obvious one, it accelerates, operational efficiency, cost saving, which is really the baseline. A lot of companies are saving a lot of costs, because when the load increases, you can infinitely expand this workforce. And when it reduces, you can actually shrink it, which is not so true when you want to do actually with the human workforce. So things you can do with bots, there you have a lot more flexibility. And there are many cases like bank moratorium, of the loans during COVID, or increased load of ticket cancellations on airlines, and so on and so forth. And there are a number of scenarios. I am not going to spend a lot of time, but you name the function, and there are a lot of areas which you can, automate. And this is, we have heat maps or solution maps by industry, by processes, by functions. And, like I said, automation serves as a conduit across multiple technologies. There is a backend integration with a very large number of applications, both at a API level and where API doesn't work for various reasons, UI level. Now with the, so you can actually work seamlessly without getting too technical at a user level. This is a vision, how we think of automation in 4 steps. The first one, which I spoke a lot about, which is really assign all automatable work to bots, free humans of mundane and repeatable work. Provide a bot for every person in the company. It's almost like your own personal digital assistant at work. Like, I being in marketing, download a lot of reports and analytics every week, but which will usually take me a couple of hours. Nowadays, I use a bot. I trigger the bot and I've done it in about 3 minutes. And I have another half an hour to pour over the analytics, and still time is saved. What I used to do once a week, I can choose to do any time in a week or any number of times in a week, depending on the need. So that's for something, like an information worker like me. This low code technology or no code technology also democratizes development, which means all the power users can make their own, automations. The very heavy ones across company wide can be done in the center of excellence, with the others people can make on their own. So that also liberates and provides a lot more broader and wider usage, and focusing your true experts on larger company-wide initiatives. And there's been talk about AI and machine learning for a long time. From whatever we can see around, automation has been one of the easiest and most amenable way to deploy AI in your organization. And we are seeing in terms of document understanding, semantic understanding, chatbot integration, and so on and so forth. So if you're using AI, you can integrate into automation, and you can really grow spread of AI in your organization. Those are the 4 key pillars, how we think of a enterprise which is fully automated. This is really how we think of automation. We don't think of automation only as RPA. We really think of it as an end-to-end platform, starting from discovering which processes or tasks can be automated. There was earlier, you needed to engage consultants to figure that out. Now technology can do a very large part of it, which can study your regular processes, tasks, and advise you where you could do that. Then build automations, manage bots, run them, manage your task, and then of course, measure and, be able to prove the ROI if it were. And like I said, it's integrated across the board with, across multiple on-prem and SaaS applications, mainframe applications, homegrown applications, the works. This is a slide to show, people who are leading, and this is probably true of all new waves of technology, and automation is definitely a new paradigm. The leaders are gaining significantly more than people who are trailing the curve. So I would really urge all the audience to be early on the curve. They always say early bird gets the worm. It is nowhere more true than it is in automation. And once you start, it really pays for you to go across the organization and automate fully. Here again, you can see some data points where companies who have automated across the corporation are getting, up to 9 times more cost savings, up to 6 times more impact on revenue, and twice the impact on productivity and cost savings. So really, and this technology has really not an entry barrier. It's very quick to deploy. You can start with a single bot and then you can scale. And this is, of course, everything is available on the cloud. It's subscription based, so it's clearly easy to deploy. And this is really my last slide. I'll try and leave a couple of minutes to answer your questions. So this is really our approach. We have seen, in continuation of my last point, a top-down approach, which is really led by a vision of what we want to do at a strategic level in the organization. And that drives technology, and that drives automation goals, and therefore resource allocation, a longer-term commitment, having a center of excellence, and then implementing the automation, versus going bottoms up, which is where a lot of companies are. I think it worked very well for last few years, but now the time has come where automation really needs to be a boardroom conversation to be super impactful. And you don't have to do it alone. We have help at hand. We have a very strong automation consulting practice. We have a value engineering team. We have various industry advisory experts ourselves, as well as we have a number of large partners. Actually, all large partners, consulting firms, we work very closely with. So therefore, you can leverage that help and think of it as a holistic strategic approach. And again, it actually doesn't contradict any of the things that you have today. It builds on top of them and helps you integrate various disparate pieces to make them more efficient, effective, and impactful. So that brings me to the end of my 17 minutes. I have 3 minutes. I'm happy to take any questions that you have. Here are some examples. A lot of companies across industries are using them, so you won't be alone. I'll stop sharing. Here I am.
Fantastic presentation, sir.
Yeah, hello.
Let's see you though.
Yes. We had some questions.
Fantastic session, Mr. Rajesh, and of course, pumpkin spice latte. It is yes, for those who do not unfortunately take alcohol. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, any questions? Love the fact that sir actually spared 3 very, very important minutes from his presentation of 20 to solely dedicated to taking up answers. So any questions for Mr. Rajesh, ladies and gentlemen? Now is the time for it.
Also, I think if we don't end up catching up today, please feel free to reach out to me on LinkedIn, Twitter, wherever. I will absolutely make sure either I provide you the answer or I connect you with somebody who can. Absolutely. So like I said, it's the start of a conversation. And I definitely agree that after a nice lunch on a rainy day in possibly Mumbai, or a cold day in Delhi, or a very pleasant day in Bangalore, it's always hard to digest a lot of content and ask questions. So if you don't ask, I completely understand and empathize, but please feel free to, come back, reach out to me or any of my colleagues, and we'll be very happy to work with you to get you going on the automation journey.
Rajesh, very, very fantastic. I love the empathy and the sympathy shown, but there's one perspective which I always think, that sometimes the session itself is so well explained that there is no point, there is no, there is koi udhar gunjaish nahi hai for a question. I think that
I love you. I mean, you're my best friend. I hope that's the case. It's very, very flattering. So So thank you for that.
There is Mr. Janak Bindora who writes an excellent session with multiple exclamation marks. That is entirely for you. And as we speak, we have Mr. LK Tripathi who writes in time and cost for bot.
Yeah, of course. I mean, look, to start with, please feel free to download a free bot from our website, and it's a community edition. You can start playing with it. And then depending on your need, because very different flavor, there is attended, unattended, and there is a studio to design it. There is an orchestrator to manage the bots. It's like a bot manager, and there are many other components. So depending on what use you want to put to what industry you are in, we are happy to work that out for you. Absolutely.
Fantastic.
My email ID is very simple, rajesh.kumar@uipath.com. So please feel free to write to me, and of course, ping me on LinkedIn or Twitter.
Great answer, Mr. Rajesh. We've got Mr. Mahavir Devanwar who writes in what kind of automation UiPath provides in the field of education vertical?
Yeah, absolutely. Lots of it. I mean, if you see education vertical, there are so many processes from student admissions, managing student records, managing curriculum, administrative processes, fee management, finance management, all of those we help you serve.
Great. We've got Himadri Bhattacharya writes in super explanation by Rajesh Kumar sir. That's for you. And Mr. LK Tripathi again has a question here. How is it different from no code platform bot?
No. So no code, low code is a part of our platform. If you look at, it's a broader movement, but the bots, once you have the bots, we have an app platform, which we call business applications, that helps you combine different automations into in a low code way into an application for your own use. Like I said, I have a need for data. So it pulls data from Salesforce for me, it pulls data from Marketo for me, it combines them, puts them in an Excel, makes some nice, interesting graphs and sends it to me. So it's like a little low code, no code application, which I just have to trigger, and it does it for me in about 3 minutes, which used to take me an hour and a half. So it's a simple example, but you can do many other things, whether you want to fetch an invoice, whether you want to process invoices at the end of the month, or want to do any of such things. So it is a part of our platform.
Fantastic. And of course, ladies and gentlemen, Sri Lakshmi has written in Mr. Rajesh's email ID. So please feel free. Mr. Rajesh, fantastic. Thank you so very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Nikita. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for your patience and time. I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks again. Have a great rest of the day and enjoy the rest of the sessions. I'll see you later.